President William Ruto is expected to push the African agenda while hosting the Africa Climate Summit later in the year in efforts to make Africa's opinions and recommendations on global pollution be heard. This was evident during his recent conversation on matters climate change on the sidelines of the 36th Ordinary Session of the African Union Heads of State and Government Summit. With those details is Lois Wangoi.
With the ongoing drought in the country, characterized by prolonged dry spells and an increase in the number of hungry and thirsty Kenyans, the conversation on matters climate change could not be more timely. Now, President William Ruto is championing for equal, if not improved, rights for Africa at the global climate change conversations, arguing that the continent is among the least polluters in the world, yet it bears the biggest brunt on environmental consequences of global environmental pollution.
Is it the case that those who have caused the least emission are being punished for doing the least, and those who have polluted the world, the biggest emitters, are being rewarded? We want a system that is accountable. If it is not accountable, then it is corrupt.
The long rain season is almost here, and as farmers count days to put their crop on the ground, the weatherman has already warned of a not-so-promising rain season, one which will be late and low. President William Ruto is expressing confidence that in hosting the Africa Climate Summit in September this year, Africa will grab the opportunity to tailor its future defenses to suit Africa's top climate change concerns, top among them being the global funding for climate change interventions.
We are getting development finance at now 10%. Our compatriots from the global north have access to development finance at 0.1%.
In the conference of the parties COP27 held in Glasgow late last year, the world nations had almost struck a deal on elimination of fossil fuels by the year 2050 before India whipped other nations to the scaling down of fossil fuels and not complete elimination. President William Ruto is of the opinion that Kenya and colleague states in Africa should rekindle the conversation, granted that Africa suffers the most effects in the world's continued use of fossil fuels.
We have no option of continuing the development trajectory around fossil fuels and coal. It is not sustainable. Continuing the impunity of turning on fossil fuels, turning on coal, as is happening today, puts the whole globe at risk. We cannot possibly be that reckless.
On the sidelines of the 36th Ordinary Session of the Africa Union Heads of State and Government Summit, President William Ruto concluded that Africa must be treated as a key partner on matters climate change to ensure the success of the safety of the environment globally. Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Uasin Gishu.